So this week, we're gonna work on lesson 12, which is partially getting into animating your objects. This is kind of first step to programming, okay? So it has 8 levels. So let me see if we can finish it faster. I'll keep the number of challenge you have to do to one. If not, let's see how difficult it is. So this level follows the video that you may have watched in the video class. If you missed the video, you can watch it in the help tips tabs. So here's an example of draw loop at work. Guys, I'm gonna pause the video and actually pause the recording and I'll show you the video. So if you look at this code, you see it says you need to discuss. So what would be your prediction, guys? Look, if you look at the this code, no stroke. You guys remember what was no stroke? What was it? No line, no outlines, right? No stroke. And then fill with sea green. That's a color my shape will be filled in, right? And then function ellipse in a random places. So what? Okay, so if I don't tell computer what the size of my ellipse is, do you guys remember what was the default size? You guys remember? It was like tiny circle, right? Tiny circle, like 50 by 50. So right now, I did not indicate the size. Okay. Yes, it will be popping up everywhere. This tiny circle. But let's see it. Hold on. Let me make a little guess. Here, you see? Tiny circle. So the diameter is 50 pixels by default. Okay. That was I think I'm not able to change it. See, I'm not letting me. Otherwise I would try another thing. So yes, 1 is done. Moving on to 2. Finish. You see, you could also send it to your phone. If you guys put your phone number, it's going to send a link to your phone and then show how it looks like on the phone animated. You can try. Now, next thing is using a draw loop. So you see the circles, green and orange. Now it's your turn to do some work. Remember that code inside the draw loop is run by GameLab over and over again. So whatever you put within this function draw, it's going to be repeated infinitely. Okay, that's so called infinite loop. Add code to the program so that your drawing has changed orange circles and being drawn too. So right now I only have green, right? But I also want to add orange circle to it. So what do you think I should do? Exactly. So we copy these 2 lines. You see fill and ellipse. Yeah, thank you. That's a good suggestion. So I cannot copy it when it's on a block view. So you want to change it to show text version and copy paste it. Look, copy these 2 lines, Control C, and then go to the next line, Control V, and then it's going to be same, except you need to change the second one to which one is orange? Yeah, we can type it actually. Yeah. Looks like you did it already. Huh? All right. So here. Oops. Orange. Oh, I misspelled it. Orange. There we go. Okay, here. That's task 2. All right. So let's move on to task 3. That was task 2. No, she's absent. Okay, instructions of task 3. This program has one small difference that will make it run a little differently. Again, though, remember, as your code outside the draw loop is run first 1 time. All your code inside the draw loop run over and over forever. So whatever you put within the loop, it's gonna run forever. So if you look at this program here, you need to make a prediction. So what do you think will happen? Look, world frame rate and then no stroke, background is blue, fill is yellow, and then it's drawing background red, and every time it's going to draw a circle. All right, you can make your prediction. I'm going to skip it. I'm expecting you guys to do it on your own. So number 4. Okay, sprites in draw loop. Run the code to see how it works. So you see, the alien is shaking. So if you look at the code, war sprite, we declare the variable first. Remember, we do that. Second, we're gonna assign the assign animation to it, and third, we're gonna draw it here. It's in the function. So again, first we declare a variable, then we assign a animation to it, because just declaring a variable doesn't mean anything, because we need to tell computer my variable is gonna take this look. All right, for example, when I direct a movie, right, I have a character. So I say, okay, my character's name is Sam. So that's what I define, right? But then what do I do next? I need to find a suitable person to present as Sam. So that's assigning a value to my character. So Sam can be anybody, right? But when you assign some person, that particular person is Sam now. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, we need to draw it. And drawing happens in the function. Now, when you draw that alien, this is what happens. Every time background is same orange, you see same orange, but sprite rotation is kind of random, you see? So it rotates random places every time. Look, it rotates once, rotates twice, and third time, fourth time, and then since it happens fast, it looks like it is vibrating. Normally it's just rotating different different angles. Does it make sense? Let's make a little different thing to it. Instead of background orange, let's try RGB, and then let's try I think it's not letting me do it. Okay, fine. But I was gonna try different backgrounds. Every time he shakes, the background changes too. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, actually, let's try changing the numbers. Okay, I think we can change the numbers. So here, -10 and 10. So what does -10 and 10 represent here? It's a range, right? Between -10 and 10. So that's the range. But range of what? If you look at the function, it says rotation. So you can guess that this is an angle that my character rotates, right? Angle. Because rotation has something to do with an angle. If you rotate 360 degrees, you're going to make a full circular rotation, right? Or let's say if you do 90 degrees, you just turn. If you're looking forward, you're going to turn right or left, 90 degrees. So in here, it's just different angles between -10 and 10. Now, what if we were to make it, to make this number, let's say, oops, it's not letting me change it. Why is it not letting me change it? Oh, let me change it from here. Okay, what if it was 190 and -90 and 90? What is your prediction, guys? How it's gonna act if it's between 90 and 90? Let me pause this. You know, when I was all right. So number 5. So you see these little 2 items. It's a pen and a pencil and a brush. So when you run it, my pencil is moving, my brush is not. So we have to fix that. We have to make the brush move as well. So if you look at the source code, first I define the variable called pencil, then assign a picture pencil to it. Second, I define the variable brush, assign the brush picture to it. So I completed 2 steps already, defining and assigning, right? Now I need to draw them. Drawing happens in here, but with slight difference. What's the difference? Background is white every time. Okay, good. So that's why you see that's why you don't see the previous like frames. Let's say I make a change on frame, it's been colored white, so that's why you don't see it. Normally you would see all the changes, like in the movie. Remember in the video. So pencil dot, is it X? Yeah. So pencil dot X become random. So what does it mean? Pencil dot X. So pencil dot X means the X coordinate of my pencil is changing every time. That's why it is shaking. You see, before it was to the left, now it's to the right. Okay. Okay. So if you have this grid, if you guys have grid, you see this 100 and 110. It's actually here and here. So look, guys, 100 and 110, it's kind of line, this line and then line in here. So you see, that's why it's going between these 2 points. If I were to make it 50 and 200, it will look something like this. Look, you see, going back and forth. Let's change it back. Now my goal here is to make the brush act the same way as a pencil, right? Okay. All right. So as you can see here, brush, it's been have a static X. Static means doesn't change. Static. Okay. But in here, pencil doesn't have a static. Pencils is changing between 100 and 110. So I need to add a random to my brush as well to make it look like animating. And then for my brush, if I wanted to move in here, I have to define what are the coordinates of this point, which is 280, and then 300. Yeah, let's do 280 and 300. And then let's see. There, you see, they both are moving. Okay. So that was task 5. I think we can finish it today. So 6. Okay, 3 of them, just pick one. Okay, you don't have to do all of them. Let me do the blurry sprite. Okay. So shake around and then blurry shaking. What is going on instead? You see what's happening? Right. So why do you think this is happening? Look. Any suggestions? Why do you think we have this instead of this? Why? Think. Yes.
Because the top sprites have to be outside the function of the green.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Like the top.
Okay. So oh, this should be outside, right? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because you know what's happening if you put it in a function in here? My sprite is being defined again every time. Every time is being defined. That's why it's gonna show a new sprite every time. But if you pull it out of the loop, then yes, you're not gonna see that. Yeah. But this time it's not shaking. It's not shaking. So how we make it shake? Yeah, actually it is shaking, right? It is shaking. Yeah, that was a glitch. All right, thank you. So yeah. Okay. So finish, continue. to 7. All right, so yeah, so we just do one in task 6. We don't have to do all of them. But again, if you guys do all of them, that's for your own good. 7, this level is very familiar to the last one, but this time you'll add a new draw loop yourself. So we don't have any draw loops here. Okay, we have to do it. We have to do it ourselves. Now, let me see what we have here. So we define the variable. We name it salt. We assign a picture to it. Look, I have a salt picture. It could be something else. Look, it could be, let's add another animation just to show that it could be something else. For example, let's add this guy here. Yeah. Why is not adding it? Oh, there we go. Done. Okay. Now, it could have been something else. Instead of salt, it could have been a bear, or it could have been a giraffe. So that's why we have this set animation to assign a picture to my variable, right? But since it's used salt, I'll just keep with salt. Now, what we need to do next is we have a blue sky blue and then draw loop, right? So let's add the draw loop. This is the green function. It's called draw. It draws things in infinite manner, in infinite times. So if you look at the example at the previous one, the background and then draw were already inside the loop. You can check the previous tasks. Okay, like that. Let me try to run and see. Nothing happening, but I want it to shake like this. So what do? So what we do is we add the same thing we had in the previous tasks, sprite X. Sprite X. Okay, so salt. And then salt X is ranging between, is it moving up and down or right or left, guys?
Up and down.
Up and down, right? Then we have to change it to Y. If it's up and down, it's Y. Salt. Okay. Now, let's define the range. So the salt shaker is gonna be between. I think it's the midpoint. The numbers are the midpoint. So it's gonna be between this point, which is, let's say 200, and then this point, which is 200 and maybe, hold on. Oh, 180 and 220. So 180 and 220. I was looking at Y. You see on the finish there's Y. I was defining Y because it's moving up and down, not left and right. Let's test it. Yeah. I think the range is way too big. It shakes worse than the actual shaking. We can reduce the shaking by maybe reducing the amount of the distance. So let's set it to 200. Let's see if shaking will do. Yeah, this is a little better. Maybe it's still too much. 190. Yeah, like that. Okay, so 190 and 200. Just put 10 difference between, and it's gonna shaking will be slower. If it increase the distance, it's gonna be more shaking. So that's how they measure the earthquake shaking. You know what's the measurement for earthquakes? Magnitude? Hmm. Nice. Nice. What do you expect to see? Yeah, anyone? Nothing? What if I add background white? All right, I don't see anything.